Another spirit associated with the Ramsey house resides outside the back door leading into the home's kitchen. He is a man in Revolutionary War era attire and is sometimes accompanied by a little white dog. The tour guide named this ghost as Reynolds Ramsey and said that he has been asked about multiple times by tourists, volunteers, and other guides alike, and that he has never been seen inside the house, but always outside by the back door. Some tourists will enter the gift shop and ask about the man in costume. Other times, a guide will be giving their tour and either will glimpse him or one of the tourists will through the heavy wavy panes of glass in the kitchen windows. When guides step out to gather the straggling tourist, he's simply gone. Of interest to note, our guide said that when he is glimpsed like this through the window from inside the house, he is sometimes seen in something other than his Revolutionary War era attire, and in something a touch more modern. I've never heard of a ghost making wardrobe changes, but apparently Reynolds Ramsey does. When asked how did they know it was Reynolds Ramsey and why a little white dog, the tour guide laughed and told us that at the time he was alive, Reynolds Ramsey was the county collector of fees for animal ownership, specifically dogs. He would go around town collecting yearly the original pet license fee for animals and was a lover of all critters great and small. And more often than not, when he came to a farm or home with a dog, sometimes the owner would say they didn't know whose dog it was, that it was a stray, and they'd just taken to feeding it, and that Reynolds could take the mongrel if he wanted to. So adverse were they to paying the fee. Thusly, Reynolds had owned quite a few more dogs than he ever intended at any given time. I'd like to think that the little white dog at the ghost of Reynolds Ramsey's feet in the times that he's been seen was simply his most faithful and loyal companion all the years that the little dog was alive, only happy to be reunited with his master in death. In the kitchen itself is the ghostly presence of an unknown woman, perhaps the residual energy of one of the Ramsey house slaves or servants. On that, there's really nothing more to say other than she moves objects in the kitchen from time to time as she goes about her daily tasks. There's been no real sign of intelligence that I could gather from our tour guide about the spirit, and she may be simply a residual haunting of the home, which is built in part from blue limestone, which, as we discussed in one of the original Fledgling files, limestone does have a high quartz content sometimes, and quartz is quite the conductor for recording and replaying ghostly activity. Still, we don't know who this woman is or why she remains, and anything else said about her would simply be pure conjecture. And while I indulge in it from time to time, it's always good practice to avoid too much of it, she says to Ghost Bites before wildly conjecturing about another ghost in the house. Stay tuned, my little strangelings, because wait, there's more.